G'day, you're with Joel Slate-Cairns, and this is the 3CIR podcast. Grab a coffee, get comfy, because today we're talking about something that keeps you sharper than a fresh ironed uniform.
And I'm Ryan Jury Delaney. Mate, you already sound like you're drilling recruits at sunrise.
Old habits. But here's the scene. 3CIR was started by ADF Army veterans like us, built on 5 big tenets that we actually live by. Courage, commitment, camaraderie, integrity, and respect. They're not just words on a wall, they're the reason we help people move from service life to civilian life, and why we back emergency services and civilians too, with recognition of prior learning and online quals that fit around real life.
Right? Because transitioning isn't about losing who you were, it's about carrying that into the next chapter. Whether you're a firefighter, a nurse, a liney, a logistics gun, or a business owner, we help you take what you've done and turn it into something formal. That's RPL in real terms. Your experience equals credit towards qualifications, and your momentum equals opportunity. Simple.
Today's theme, continual learning. Not once and done. Not the diploma on the wall that gathers dust. Real ongoing learning that keeps you alive in a changing world.
And it's global. I know you've been buzzing about that trip you were talking about earlier, the one in Beijing.
2 weeks teaching and coaching execs in an executive MBA cohort. Imagine Juggle City. Family, full-time roles, cross-border flights, and then adding night classes. They weren't complaining, they were hungry. That's what hit me. The priority they put on learning. Not because it was fashionable, but because it was necessary.
That's the shift. The global rise of lifelong learning isn't a slogan anymore, it's a survival strategy. You've got engineers studying UX at night, cops picking up HR and WHS, tradies learning project management, parents tackling a second language while their kids do homework. If you're breathing, you're learning, or at least you should be.
And the market's unforgiving when you aren't. Especially when the economy wobbles, that's the exact moment to add to your toolkit. I've seen it. In down cycles, the people who've upskilled are the ones who keep moving. They become the go-to problem solvers.
I had a mate in aviation, absolute pro. Then the industry hit a rough patch. Instead of waiting, he grabbed a drone qualification and a WHS cert, stacked that with RPL for his inspection and safety experience, and boom! He's now leading safety audits across multiple sites. Same core strengths, new wrapper, more marketable.
That's a textbook example of learning in times of change. The idea is simple. None of us can afford to freeze our skill sets in amber. Organizations can't either. The best ones make learning part of the workflow, not an annual box tick.
Speaking of which, culture matters. Creating a culture of self-directed learning is the difference between a team that waits to be told and a team that seeks out the edge. People don't need micromanagement. They need access, trust, and a nudge. Think of it like PT for your brain. You don't do one workout and call yourself fit for life.
You break it into rhythm. Weekly habit, monthly target, quarterly stretch. And leaders listen. Incentives matter. Give learning time real legitimacy. Not after hours only, not when it's quiet. If you want self-directed learners, show them that curiosity earns recognition, budget, and opportunity.
And if you're solo or in a small outfit, do the same for yourself. Put learning in your calendar like it's a client. Tuesday mornings, 20 minutes on analytics, Friday Arvo, leadership video, and a note in your journal. The consistency compounds. You know what I mean?
Let's talk expanding skills for the future. There are a few we keep seeing on the front lines. Critical thinking, creativity and innovation, analytics, people and leadership, and networking. You don't need to master everything at once. Pick a lane, set a 90-day pathway, and build from there.
Here's a practical breakdown. Critical thinking. Do an after-action review on your decisions. What did I assume? What evidence did I use? What would I try differently next time? Creativity and innovation. Force yourself to write 3 different ways to solve the same problem and pick the weirdest one to prototype. Analytics. Learn to ask better data questions. Not what's the number, but what decision will this number change?
People and leadership. Hold a feedback conversation this week. 1 positive, 1 constructive, 1 request. Keep it human, specific, and short. Networking. Reconnect with 2 old colleagues and ask what they're learning right now. You'll walk away with at least 1 idea to steal with pride.
And if you're wondering where 3CIR fits, that's our wheelhouse. Our RPL process takes the heavy lifting you've already done, managing teams, safety checks, crisis response, logistics, and assesses it against nationally recognized qualifications. Then we map the gaps and guide you to the right units or short courses so you finish faster. Less duplication, more recognition.
Plus, we've got a video library that's a sneaky unfair advantage. Leadership, HR, WHS, security, business, marketing, government, project management, you name it. Short, punchy explainers and case studies that fit on a lunch break. If you're commuting, those videos are your gym for the brain.
We'll drop the pointer in the show notes, but honestly, just hit the 3CIR site and poke around. It's not a maze, it's a buffet. Grab what you need today.
Now, learning isn't just an individual game. The best organizations are learning organisms. At the individual level, make opportunities obvious. Pay for a book a month. Run mentoring programs. Set up brown bag sessions on topics people care about. Bring in speakers. And yes, back your people to return to school when it helps the mission.
At the team level, this is huge. Most of the work happens inside projects, so teams need the ability to diagnose their knowledge gaps before they start. What do we need to deliver this? Who's got it? What's missing? Then grab training fast, formal or informal. Don't wait till the post-mortem. Build the upgrade into the mission.
And at the organizational level, you need systems to scan the learning climate. What opportunities are desired? Where are the gaps? How do we bridge them? That can be as structured as a quarterly skills audit or as simple as a feedback survey that people actually believe will change things. Close the loop. If clients and customers say, we need faster response, translate that into a learning goal, not just a reprimand.
You just made half of Australia groan remembering compliance training.
That's the thing. If learning feels like punishment, it won't stick. If it feels like power, like you're leveling up, it becomes addictive.
Back to benefits, because sometimes the carrot matters. When you invest in continual learning, you keep current with trends. You build a deeper knowledge base so you can spot problems early and generate solutions others miss. You build market resilience, more marketable when times get tough. You stimulate your mind, which keeps you engaged. And you boost your confidence. Not fake bravado, but the quiet kind that comes from competence.
And confidence compounds. If you've ever been the person in a meeting who can translate between finance and ops because you learned both languages, you know the feeling. People turn to you. You become valuable.
I had that in a former role. I wasn't the best coder or the best manager, but I could speak enough of both to build bridges. That came from curiosity, not a fancy title. So if you're listening while you're driving a truck or cleaning kit or managing a team, the message is your next edge is one habit away.
Let's get tactical. Create a continual learning development plan, not a thesis. 1 page. Choose one personal goal and one professional goal. Tie each to a realistic timeline. Here's a simple template.
Here he goes with the template. He loves a template.
Because they work. Goal. Become proficient in data storytelling in 90 days. Why? To present ops updates that drive decisions. How? Watch 3CIR analytics and business videos weekly. Complete one short course. Practice by presenting one deck per fortnight to the team. Who can help? A peer who's great at visuals. Book a reverse mentoring coffee. Measure. Decision speed and clarity on next project.
Personal goal example. Learn conversational Spanish in 6 months because we're opening a partnership in South America. How? 15 minutes daily weekly conversation group. Watch one Spanish movie a fortnight. Measure. Hold a 5-minute conversation without switching to English. It's not university, it's momentum.
And when you're mapping your RPL path, think like a strategist. What have I already done that matches formal competencies? Leadership, risk assessment, training others, incident response, procurement, project delivery. It's all in there. Then plug the gaps quickly with targeted units. That's the difference between a 1-year grind and a 3-month sprint.
If you're in emergency services, for instance, your investigation reports and SOP reviews may line up with units in WHS, security, or government qualifications. If you're ex-military logistics, you're sitting on supply chain, inventory control, planning, and leadership credits that transfer into business or project management. Will help translate your experience into the right framework.
I want to circle back to something from Beijing, the way those execs treated learning like a team sport. They formed study pods, they rotated case leadership, they held peer teaching sessions. That's the culture piece. If you want teams to learn, make learning visible and social. Run a demo day once a month where teams share what they've learned. Keep it short, keep it practical. Celebrate it.
And build rituals, a 10-minute what did we learn last sprint at the end of your stand-up, a rotating slot in the weekly meeting for someone to share an article and one practical insight, a Slack channel or Teams thread called Lessons Learned, where people post aha moments without fear of being nitpicked, of being...
Quick tactics for leaders. Allocate a learning budget per person, not just a central pool that gets swallowed by travel. Give people a learning day every quarter. Tie learning goals to performance reviews in a way that rewards curiosity, not just compliance. And promote people who help others learn, not just lone wolves who hit targets.
On the ground, if you're an individual contributor, your leverage move is the 15-minute micro learning block. Put it on your calendar with a name like Tuesday Tune-Up. Watch a short video, read a blog, take one note, share one insight. Repeat. In 3 months, you'll be surprised how much you've banked.
Speaking of banked, our blog has a whole library of articles on leadership, career pivots, resilience, RPL case studies, and more. If you're not sure where to start, search for Continual Learning on the 3CIR site and scroll through. Take one idea and try it this week. Don't binge, apply.
And check out the videos. The leadership series will give you frameworks for influence and feedback, HR for hiring, performance and culture, WHS for safety leadership and compliance without the yawn, security for risk and incident management, business and marketing to help you position your work, government and project management for working the system and delivering on time. It's literally a playlist for better decisions.
Let's get into learning during downturns a bit more, because it's timely. When budgets tighten, training is often first on the chopping block, which is backwards. That's when you need it most. The play is to shift from broad, nice-to-have learning to focused, outcome-aligned learning. Make every hour serve a bottleneck.
You can also barter internally. Got a data wizard on the team? Have them run a clinic? Strong facilitator? Trade an hour of coaching for an hour of tech support? Skill swaps create capability without extra cost. It's like a unit sharing kit. We've all done it. But
And ask clients what would make you irreplaceable. Then learn that. If a client says, we value proactive risk reports, build the system to deliver them and train the team on it. If a customer says, we need clearer communication, train in plain language and visuals. Don't guess. Listen and adapt.
I want to hit the mindset piece. Self-directed learning starts with identity. Tell yourself, I'm the person who asks better questions. I'm the person who tries one new thing each week. I'm the person who takes messy first drafts. If you wait to feel confident before you learn, you'll never start. You get confident because you learn.
In the military, we had after-action reviews. In business, you can do the same. What was the plan? What happened? Why? What will we sustain? What will we change? 5 questions that teach more than a semester if you do them honestly.
And make it safe to be honest. If every review becomes a hunt for who stuffed up, people will start hiding the best lessons. The point is to surface process improvements and knowledge gaps, not to create villains.
Here's another habit. Build a personal knowledge system. Could be a notes app where you tag ideas under categories like leadership, analytics, comms, and risk. When you prep for a meeting, pull 3 relevant notes. Suddenly, you're the person with examples and frameworks at your fingertips.
I do that and it makes me look smarter than I am. Pro tip, add a line at the end of every note that says, next time try this. That line turns learning into action.
Let's talk networking as learning. Most people think networking is collecting business cards. It's not. It's collecting perspectives. Curate 5 people in different fields and ask them every month what they're noticing. That stream keeps you ahead of trends. It's like multiple early warning radars.
And give before you ask. Share articles, make introductions, send notes like, hey, I tried your suggestion and here's what happened. That's how you build camaraderie, one of our core tenets, in a way that outlasts job titles.
Back to RPL for a second, because some listeners are thinking, this sounds good, but I don't have time to start from scratch. You probably don't need to. Our team at 3CIR will map what you've already done to units and quals. You might be 70% there without realizing. Then we help you fill the 30% with targeted study you can do online at your pace.
And the payoff isn't just the paper, it's the clarity. Once you see your experience through a formal lens, it's easier to pitch yourself for roles, write a CV that lands, and explain your value in interviews. You speak both languages, the practical and the credentialed. That's leverage.
Let's do a quick scenario set for different folks listening. Say you're a shift supervisor in manufacturing. You've been doing production planning, safety checks, and team leadership. With RPL, you might be lined up for a certificate IV or diploma in leadership and management, plus WHS units. Add a short course in analytics, and suddenly you're viable for operations coordinator roles.
Or you're a paramedic. You've got triage, incident command, patient comms, and report writing. That translates into leadership, risk, and governance. With RPL into health or management qualifications and maybe a project management unit, you're competitive for clinical educator or operations manager roles.
You're ex-infantry with deployments. You've got logistics, planning, training, resilience, and security. Map that into security, government, or business qualifications. Stack in a course on procurement or contract management, and now you're talking defense, industry, facilities, or corporate security roles.
Point is, you're not starting at zero. You've been learning all along. We're just packaging it and pointing it where it counts.
Let's open a loop we'll come back to in the next episode, career change. People think it's a cliff. It's not. It's a bridge of skills you already have plus a few planks you add. Continual learning is how you lay those planks without falling in. We'll go deep on that next time, but for now, park the idea that you might be closer than you think.
All right, quick lightning round of culture moves for leaders who want self-directed learners. Ready?
Hit me!
Number 1, make learning public. A shared scoreboard of courses completed or lessons shared, not to shame, but to celebrate. Number 2, pay for outcomes. If someone uses a new skill to save money or time, give them some of the win. Number 3, cut dead classrooms. If a training doesn't change behavior, don't repeat it just because it's always been there.
Number 4, rotate teaching. The best way to learn is to teach. Have everyone present something once a quarter. Number 5, build time. Put a learning hour in the roster. If you say, do it whenever there's time, there won't be time. Number 6, harvest customer feedback monthly and translate it into 2 learning goals for the next month.
Individuals, your micro playbook. Pick one skill, set a 30, 60, 90 plan, find a buddy, schedule the time, share what you learn, apply it once a week. That's the whole game.
And remember the benefits list because it's your motivation. Staying current. Building a problem-solving knowledge base, becoming more resilient and marketable in recessions. Sparking your mind. Growing self-confidence. That list is a checklist for career durability.
I want to speak to the person who feels behind. You're not late, you're ready. Start with 10 minutes today. Watch one video, take one note, ask one question. That's real. Momentum beats perfection every day.
And for those already on the path, raise your ceiling. If you're comfortable, ask yourself what would make you uncomfortable in a good way. Present to a new audience. Tackle a new tool. Mentor someone and let them mentor you back on what's new. You learn twice that way.
I've got a little real-world example from last week. A client team had constant miscommunications between field ops and the office. Instead of hiring a consultant straight away, they ran a learning sprint. Week 1, they watched a 3CIR leadership clip on communication styles and had a brown bag discussion. Week 2, they mapped their handover process and identified 3 points where info died. Week 3, they piloted a standard template and a 5-minute huddle. Week 4, they measured, result, 30% fewer errors. That was learning deployed, not theory.
That's how you make learning a force multiplier. It's not academic, it's operational. And if something doesn't work, you iterate. No drama. Try again.
Before we wind down, let's talk about the fun factor. Learning can be heavy if you let it, or it can be play. Try a new hobby that teaches you transferable skills, jiu-jitsu for strategy and patience, woodworking for precision and planning, a new sport for teamwork and feedback, travel for perspective and adaptability. Your brain doesn't care where the lesson comes from.
And fun actually helps retention. If you enjoy the process, you'll stick with it when life gets spicy.
All right, I want to give a quick call to action. If you're curious about where your experience could take you, do a free RPL assessment with 3CIR. It costs you a few minutes to fill out, and you'll get a sense of what credits you already have and the shortest path to a qualification that matches your goals,
Then pick one video from our library to kickstart your week. If you're in leadership, try the feedback frameworks. If you're in HR or aiming that way, grab the recruitment fundamentals. If safety is your world, WHS is your bread and butter. Security, business, marketing, government, project management. There's something for every lane.
And if you're leading a team, set up your first brown bag lunch this month. Topic: 3 lessons from our customers. Get everyone to bring one example and one change they'd make. That one meeting could spark a quarter of improvements.
Let's land this with a question from the blog that I love. What will you learn next? Not someday. What's the next thing you'll learn starting today that prepares you for the world of tomorrow? If you're drawing a blank, here are 5 prompts. 1. What frustrates you at work? Learn the skill to fix it. 2. What role intrigues you? Learn the first tool they use. 3. Who do you admire? Copy 1 habit. 4. What keeps your boss up at night? Learn how to solve that. 5. What would be fun to master? Learn that and look for the overlap with your job.
And write it down. The moment you write it, it goes from wish to plan. Then tell someone, now it's real.
Keep your plan visible. Stick it on the fridge, the toolbox, the dashboard, the desktop. The enemy of learning is out of sight, out of mind.
And remember, 3 CIRs here to back you. We were where you are. We know the pride of service and the nerves of change, our tenets: courage to start, commitment to continue, camaraderie to learn together, integrity to own the process, and respect for your experience. That's the heart of what we do.
Next episode, we're going all in on career change. Not the fluffy version, the tactical version. How to identify transferables, translate your CV into civilian, build a target map, and use RPL to short-circuit the long road. We'll bring stories, frameworks, and a couple of curveballs.
And probably a bad joke or 2 from me. But for now, do the small thing. Pick your one skill. Start your 30, 60, 90. Book your RPL chat. Watch 1 video. Share 1 lesson.
Keep your learning live, not archived.
And if you had a good listen today, tell a mate who needs the nudge.
We'll see you next time for the Career Change Deep Dive.
Keep learning, keep moving, and keep your sense of humor. It helps.
Always does.